Molweni babukele emakhaya, igama lam ndingubulelani BHOKELA from ZUKHALI Media Production Company. Silapha nto zakuthi ke kwidolophu yaseMonti kwiphondo leMpuma Koloni. Apha eceleni kwam ke ndihleli ke no Deputy Speaker utata uMlibo Qoboshiyana from Provincial Legislature. Ulapha kulo mcimbi waka social development. Masiqase umbuzo impilo qala. Tata njani ngale mina namhlanje?
Hayi siphilile man. Sibulela nje ufumana lamathuba xa ilaka lijika kodwa kuThixo wasigcina wasiphakamisa silapha namhlanje.
Khandibalisele uzive njani ukumsitho omhle kangaka? Ndivile phaya uthethile wemadoda hayi uphosiwe namntu anganga ube khona.
Eyona nto isichulumanisayo kakhulu into kokuba sazi into kokuba noxa uqeshiwe kodwa into kokuba kubakho ixesha loba abantu bakhe bahlale phansi baphendle izazela bakwazi ukubonisana, bakwazi ukujonga iziva kumsebenzi abawenzayo, bakwazi ukukhuthazana kuba umsebenzi abawenzayo wakwa social development ubadibanisa namakhaya abantu asebunzimeni aselusizini njalo njalo. Inokuhle kuthi kanti loo nto inomthelela nakwezabo impilo, kodwa xa befumana uhlaziyeko olufana nolu ithetha ukuthi fanele basigalele ke ngoku naphezu kwalo bhekile. Yiyo le nto namhlanje umxholo wam ibokuba sakhe leader as an individual kuba sikwi-society efuna ukhupha i-leaders esiqwini sizise kwiparlamente njalo njalo. Sashiya abantu ingamagobhoza athi nobenzakele kungekho mntu wokuba abelaphe, kodwa ndithatha ngoba intlanganiso yanamhlanje ifundisa isazela sokuphila, ifundisa intembeko, ifundisa intobeko, ifundisa ukusebenza kanzima, kodwa ekugqibeleni sizixabise kwizinto esithe sazifumana ezilixabiso lize nabanye abantu abawafumananga amathuba okuba bakwazi ukuqeshwa babe zizigxina. Abanye zii-interns bakhona bebefuna khange balifumane lo thuba bade bagqitha kwi-age yoba bangaqesheka.
Ndihleli ke nosisi Babalwa mkhwetsha ulapha ecaleni kwam. Sisi njani ngale mina namhlanje?
Yaphila khona kunjani? Babalwa nkwentsha.
Oh sorry. All right. Sisi Khandibalisele uzive njani nawe oyinxalenye yalo msitho bemhle kangaka wenziwa social development?
Well, I'm very proud that social development will actually do such an event because we've got a lot of broken people. We work in a broken society, and you find that we kind of have to work and help society, but we don't look inward. So the kind of event that we had today was very much looking inward in terms of making sure that we equip and we heal the people who are supposed to go and equip others.
Ndihleli ke nomama uNompumelelo Javu, Director Employee Relation and Wellness. Mama Nompumelelo njani ngale mina namhlanje?
Siphilile bhuti wami, Nkosi, ndiyabulela ubukhubeni apha namhlanje.
Yes. Khandibalisele mama, lo mcimbi ubemhle kangaka. Nicinge njani ba bekho umcimbi omhle kangaka we-youth kube khona abantu abafana ke notata uMlibo Qoboshiyana abathethe izinto eziphilileyo?
Basically what we are doing as a department, as a unit, we are focusing in all categories of employees of the department. But this time around, we felt that let us focus on the youth, which is the backbone of our department.
Because ba awuzondli ngelizwi likaThixo umphefumulo wakho is at risk. Inyama yakho izaba safe, inyama yakho. Because the probability unayo ipolice mhlawumbe yaba awukho. So inyama yakho izaba safe. Yawuphuma inyama mhlawumbe izawuthathwa ngesidima ibekwe blood train ifakwe iyobulaniswa emkhenkceni kwa awukho. Ngexesha elifanelekileyo ifakwe kwi-casket kuthi ithande abefundisi emngcwabeni wakho. They are taking care of your flesh. Izawubola 6 feet under. Kodwa umoya lives eternally. Amen. The care that you take for your flesh, we take insurances for the nyama. You should do the same to your soul. Insure your soul. Banepolisi yomoya wakho kwenzela into yoba bakwehlukana umoya nenyama. Njengoba uyazi yoba inyama izawulala kwa-alcohol, uwazi nomoya izawuphelela. Because you have an insurance yenyanga, ibana i-insurance yomoto. Ndake ndagile kwimoto. Ndagile kwimoto ingenayo i-insurance yemoto. Andayazi oba i-breakdown izokubani ndayibona seyina. Ayayiphatha ngesidima imoto yam. Zizibhaki yaqwanya imoto yam ulayishwa apha. Yabetheka yafika ibhaka seyiwest. Seyihambe umfulwa ngile kwimoto. Zafika za-breakdown ingazazi oba zibizwa ngubani. Kodwa sibone apha kwi-windscreen. Kwistika apha sakwa-budget estate do not tow. Sithi hayi uyafonela abantu bakho. Yani yafika itruck ethunyelwe ku-budget. Yafika izokuthatha le moto. Yabukela isidima elayishwa ngaso le moto yenzakeleyo compared to mine. Yalayishwa ngesidima kule truck. Yenzanele. Yabekwa ngesidima pha. Nathi bona nje i-probability oba naxa uphuma umphefumlo womuntu kuba nje. Xa uphuma umphefumlo wakho ungena insurance yawo. Ziyafika zikasathana i-breakdown. Ba awuzibhatali i-insurance zomphefumlo wakho akekho ugugudu nothongo. Zifika zikhuqe nje. Kodwa xa u-insured umphefumlo wakho unesitiki esithe do not tow. Uzawufika zasezulwini ngelosi. Zifike zisithi ndim uvuko ndim ubomi. Itsho inkosi ngawukhwelayo nokuthi wafa ohlupho. Ngamazwi mawasanele amilisele ezihlizweni zethu uzazavela isisikhafu sentabeni ukuleyo. Amen.
Applause for me. Stand up and applause for me. Get ready to come. Get ready to come. Canada. Applause for me. Applause for me. Get ready to come. Get ready to come. Canada. All right. As for the family, I will say a very good thing. Where are you going? Alright, this is Samuel Akulia Filis, Bishop Mandita, Sindika Mazulu, Kogleka, Asoivale Yanis for 80, Ubu Muka, Ubo Hero, Yanis on the Putike, Egan. So, see item number 3, the Google, sorry, item number 2. Upudwe camera pasele kwa police is our fault. So let me ready for 4. So come on, please call. Uba kwenze na police car zako ulisema ikausi yako iseka mtu au police car kwenze na police house isanga house semijalo si pub item number 2 masuye police masuye. Simple item number 2, opening and welcoming, welcoming and purpose. Tell us how many points, please. Item number 2 is our Pakamisane, acting director wetu Papa Employee Health and Wellness. Mama Uchavu, Miss N Chavu, and just remember some Pakamisane picture. All time. About the month to have and you all time political. Are you all time? The girl is part of the same level. Why am I even? TJ?
Social development. Evaluations. Ndizonamkela namhlanje kulo msitho sinebele wona uthi umfundisi uManditha xa ethetha never stoop low to the level of a mouse. You must rise above the altitude. The mouse will die a natural death. Those were profound words that I picked up from all the words that he said this afternoon. We are here today with the youth of our department, which is the backbone of the Department of Social Development. Some of us, we are on our way out, but we want to leave a legacy of a youth that is going to take the department forward. A youth that will take care of the vulnerable communities. A youth that cares. Ndingaphandle city ndizonamkela. This is a beautiful day today. Beautiful sunshine, depicting the faces of the young ladies and young gentlemen that I'm seeing today. As I'm standing here, I'm very proud that we have set aside this day to honor our youth. Khululani Bahike Ngogo Namkelekile. You must sit back and relax. This is your day. Let me welcome you at this August occasion. And it is nice to see you all happy and merry as you are. And let me welcome our guests who have decided to babalisabele ubizo lethu bazokusincedisa kulo msitho siwenzayo namhlanje. Ndifuna ke oogxa bam le nto namhlanje ningayithathi kancini. Njengoba ndisitsho ndisithi abanye bethu ihabusaka sezisemnyango kuzawushiyeka nini. Funeka nibe ngathi xa kuthiwa kuyathethwa apha nibe bumamelanga kuba lusuku lenu eli. Let me welcome zonke officials ezisuka kwi-district zonke zePoli. Koma Alfredo, koma Joe Gabi, koma Chrisane, koma Oatambo, Buffalo City, Matole, Provincial Office, you are all welcome. Let me also welcome our guests who are going to talk to us today. We really appreciate your presence today. Why are we here therefore today? What is the purpose of this day? You all know that at Department you are talking about employee health and wellness. Let us forget about labor relations. I know class labor relations, so today is employee wellness. What is employee wellness? Employee wellness is a sub-directorate that takes care of all the employees of the department. If you are in person of the department, either you are head of department, you are a cleaner at the center out there, you are in person, you are an employee of the department. Employee health and wellness akakhethe. Just like in mental health ingakhethe. Iyafika ihlasele, ayizuthi ihlasela kwiphi na ilevel yabantu, ihlasela nobambani na. We are a unit that has got 4 pillars. That is wellness management, between psychosocial support, and a psychologist. This is our tetana umuntu ngamnye sithethe group sibomeleze. Shared safety, health, and risk and quality management. Ithetha ngezi-buildings sihlala kuzo ukuba zinjani. Ezinye zineenyoka, ezinye ziyavuza, ezinye ziyabanda, ezinye zinhle. Sithethe ngo-health and productivity. Ithetha ngee-pressure zethu, ithetha ngo-mental health bethu, ithetha ngee-diabetes zethu, ithetha ngayo yonke la. Sibe no-HIV and AIDS and TB management. Eletyelile gqugqu uske wathi nabethana namhlanje khinga hayi nalangama mathathu sithi ke apha. Awulindi ube ne-explanation uba kutheni sehla. Mhlawumbe decide uba mandisilimishe or whatever, but I'll stigmatize you. So sibo-employee health and wellness ojengelene nezo zinto. Sijongana ne-employees holistically. So we are here today. We decided to target the youth of the department. The youth of any organization, vulnerable, but exposed kwizinto ezininzi. So zezo zinto zininzi ke namhlanje that we want to address with you. As you go back to your homes, as you go back to your workstations, we want to live today seriously and test some izinto apha kuyo. Hence we've got different speakers as choreograph, ezizawuxhobisa zinikhuthaza. And we are so fortunate in the department. We are a department that cares. Even if as a person I don't care, or Charlie, they feel good here, I don't care. There are other managers that cares and supervisors that cares. So ikhona lanto kuthiwa izambane eliyi-1 liyipolisa ingxoma zambane. But among laa ngxoma zambane athatha eli lipolisa mani libeke ecaleni udilishane namanye amazambane la aright. So xa sithetha ngedepartment yethu, let us not have put an umbrella because of one individual. We still have people who cares in the department. So that is why we are here today. That is the purpose of the day. We are here to say, we love you, we care for you, we want you to grow. Once more, we tell you we should never stoop low to the level of a mouse, rise above the altitude, so that a mouse can die a natural death. We've got different speakers that are going to talk to you, who are going to impart some skills with you, who are going to share the knowledge and empower you. Take a pen and go down. When you go home to your bed tonight and digest everything that has been said today. I thank you.
Because kakhulu ke mphakathi Miss N Boy, sorry Miss N Jabu, esenza welcoming open purpose. Kakhulu sidile ke police ba kahle kahle sizothini apha. Siyabamkela ke nabasangena abaleti ukuba asinazi ashazi apha because ezobani sikhalisa abantu babonisa bahlale kwicala. Ngoyika lana ke ngibona lapha ebizani senzeka. Afika omnye utata emtshatweni esikele wahamba uhlala phambili ashazi singekho fika uhlala wafika lela xesha loba umakoti etyhilwa ngumakoti wakhweza nokulapha ecaleni kwakhe wathi yho akaseyiyo umakoti waphuka nokulapha ecaleni kwakhe hey wena ngumntana nguthetha naye waphuma wathi xolo tamkhulu xolo tamkhulu xolo xhego lamanga uphi wathi usageza futhi ngibaba so yikalo alright sizawungena ke ngoba siyabulela kakhulu ke mamjabu sisivile bese sizothini apha and now we confirm we are the leaders of tomorrow apha manasifele eqaleni kwabo zi-directors ngomso ingathi ke uthatha inamba yakhe kwangoku ngoba uzawucinga kwisithini kanti nguye ozakwazi uba akwazele izinto labasebenzi sifele directors ngomso sifele no-MPC bangomso sifele no-president bangomso mana abanye benu baye parliament apha sizawubona ngawo bese-point of order eparliament Eastern Cape siyayazi Eastern Cape siyakhona alright colleagues masibaleke siye speaker sethu sesithathu which is opportunities in raw materials harvesting andiyazi wasamnaka msakajani kana
we in the space of complementary and alternative products, but we African context it's in a nutshell. Well, the purpose of I think it's one of the easiest ones at the same time the toughest. Because also we psychologists and school and so forth is what I up the journey is we are trying Mazoi. We started 15 years ago. Sorry. The journey started 15 years ago. With the 15 years I would like to acknowledge firstly partners as part of Super Spa, DC across the Eastern Cape. We acknowledge also Super Spa in Western Cape. We would like to also acknowledge University of Fort Hare, the NMMU, Gababa State Center R&D and Quality Assurance, New Look Cosmetics Group, Chain Stores, Africa Christian Care, the biggest and the business wholesaler in the Southern, Super O Alpha Farm, Bobo Alpha Farm Pharmacy across the country and the Eastern Cape, or City Medical, We have over 2,000 stores across the country. We supply them. Department of Environmental Affairs, a license, so it was to have this traditional councils, inkosi zethu, izithili zazo, ezisebenza nathi. Now also a small company Memo Direct driven by 2 ladies. Now I am a youth, Gaboma designer, the new brand, we try to buy telephone knowledge please. And now with the Department of Social Development, we just started and formalized a partnership here to NANI as a department moving forward. The purpose here, I'm trying to create a relationship I have with the department, also mobile opportunities as we call that will help Amakaya Edge. Definitely, this is Suga Kuzo. I'm not going to take so much time. Before the acknowledge, tell our copy phone. Yeah, tell our which a copy phone, so we can calculate. Somebody talk about color type of 150 rand. Times number 5. Times number 4. See money? The money started the company 15 years ago. Today, they take over of about 6 million rand and the share about you wouldn't believe. And now, see, about 400, you're talking about Bonelani color, and there's a product that is available across the country. Now, with the new partnership today on the Department of Social Development, a goal every one is to add 200 more families as well as the benefit of the program and the partnership. In Kusa to achieve a lot, we need you, and Genesis to achieve a goal. Sifuna also know what opportunities is also side of the team. BULELANI elekhala cela phakamisa isandla. Abo ukhala lo ukhala kulo. Do you know about ukhala kulo iphele 1 imali yalo ikhala ikhala 400 rand. And then if you compare izalo kulela yenzalo 250. Imagine Dr. Alan 250 Vanessa they paid in imagine a local for man. Since in about vulnerable, about challenges, these opportunities sometimes about this value as far as we share with Shapilani, Hello, so today is the level information about Imazoli Healthcare, Imazoli Group, these partners that I've just pointed out. We have that opportunity now. As communities in Sudan also. Sifuna create something that keeps us going. I'm going to touch only on 5 items as well as I look at the partnership with Selenza, generally Selenza with partners. Create number 1, which is the ecosystem. Ecosystem, but we led down to now. Where decision makers is how do we make it work instead of why it should work. It's so important because entrepreneurship is not the child's play. Apparently, we need to first accept a few things. We are quite emotional about this, but it's very practical. That's point number 1. Civil province, to poverty. Civil province and economic, social challenges. Now, since we know, and it's a hard truth, what do we do about it? As a Mazoi group and partners, Sikala Data Ecosystem Manager as a department. Sikala as a negotiator, as a land is in Nekala, the Sevens and Janina, who's as it was, Uba Chain Mazoi mixture, Alliance and Abandwa. the new cream and the new soap ebizayifumana kwa-Dis-Chem nakwatleast ingaba nayo i-Eastern Cape can pride itself to say i-supply raw material eyenza ezi product zikwezi pharmacies now. And as a department, what have we played? Number two, development. How do we define development for Eastern Cape? Eating development is course. It's by doing development. Siyenza njani ngesixhosa singayenzi ngesilungu. Xa siyothetha nabantu siye sithi na xa sisi-development. In our case, sisebenza ngeenkosi ngoba i-development yasezilalini ayifani neyaseyisilalini. Awuqalabo because phaya ukukhahlele and then ulandele umthetho. I-development leyo yi-sustainability. Siyenza njani na i-sustainability? Continuously engage, noma nesithethe, noma nesithethisana, where we share cost, where we share responsibility, where we share opportunities of ohlala enkanduli enqamakho kuqumbu akwazi ukufonela omnye athi kukho abantu abayithenga baqokelele ikhala ingaba singadibana njani nomazoli as a department abantu bakwazi ukufumana imisebenzi. That is one of the things that we like abantu bakuthi abakule room basincedise kuyo. Kulothiwa ngeyi-business, sonke sikwi-business yokwenza imali. Naba abantu bakwelaa cala bakwi-business, which is easily stakeholders. How best do we as black people in particular treat black-owned companies as business, not as other things or other entities? So we want to make it clear, Mazoli Bio, Mazoli Group, and partners. So if you look at the business, ANC development, as Lali, ANC development, as Richie, ANC development, whereby by product yet, we can comfortably say we have over 2,000 to 3,000 people about contributing to the product. Currently, we have only 400 people who are contributing, whether it's a very Mazoli mixture. Any 10 is over 170,000 bottles a year. And the organization will have a program, enjoy full effort, Zanga Wapangre, all the water initiative. But it's again about Megas by inspiration and the body challenge is different. And now they are practice because of Abania about room, about this motivator, this leader input, this task, about this quarrel, about this defender. Cloud Abani actually maintains a big growth. So all these pharmacies, your kids, this game, they can say yes because of us and it is because of you. So tell us not as important as part. There's something we are very passionate about, which I'm personally responsible for, in local social responsibility. Last year we spent more than 200,000 in grocery and other projects as involved with this sport. Without us passing there's a Facebook, organizing the public, but we continue to do this job and it's a full house let's meet the streets because Amaya is all over the country. Kukhona ke umthi okuthiwa nguvele, umsongelo, zindlela zebhokwe, ngesilungu kuthiwa yipelargonium. Okanye yipelargonium sedatis. Ifumaneka phaa kwelani ingxowa A1 ephaa 50 kg ifumaneka lena nge-700 rand. Abantu bakuthi abayiyouth abekho kwesa space. In the country, we top 2 companies ezimnyama who are competing in that space. We need Tina, we need Nina, Sisi, nani obhuti nani bakhulu wami nabantu nawo. Uba siqale uformalize nalo sithanda ukuhlelela. Abanye abantu bebala ikhala baya-exporta liye e-Argentina lokwenzibhila. Ikhala elininzi elisuka ngapha kwenciba liprocesswa yapha eBhayi. Then liye e-Argentina. Kodwa thina siyashika siyijobe. Okanye abantu banezathu lithazi sifane sibayena kanti as a social development office we have an opportunity to ask singabaqokelela njani ababantu and how do we bring basic stakeholders and formalize the partnerships. How best to talk to small companies ezifana noBemoDirect nezinye i-marketing companies, branding companies ezikwaziyo ukwenza i-product and yonke le product yenziwe apha e-Eastern Cape nabantu base-Eastern Cape packaged nabantu balapha and we one of the examples. We would like to invite Nina Nong, join the partnership yethu ne-department and other relevant stakeholders to create imisebenzi. We created about 400. We tasked down Glonyaka, I have to add about 600 people about BHOKELA inkhala sustainably and by process kwilali abakuzo. Asizukwazi ukuyenza lento ningekho, ningasigayidanga, ningasinikanga advice. Information yethu is not enough without you. Ngalo mazwi, kubo bonke abantu abalingana nami, bengicela be-encourage abantu abantwana baba-formalize i-businesses zokuqokelela ikhaya. Ba-formalize i-businesses zokuqokelela iphela ngomnyaka. Bangene kula website ye-biodiversity ka-environmental affairs. Niqale uku-commercialize ezi-resources uThixo asinike zona nabanyana. Siyacela ukuthi abantu bafundileyo baqhuthelwe i-chalk. Sizama ukuncedisa nge-research ne-development yoba abantu sibanike ulwazi olufanelekileyo. Sizusela utata adla ngokugqokisela yona xa usetyenzwayo and wanceda. Wathi mntanam ufuna ukuphumelela susa laa ngxambu kuthiwa ngubona. Noba u-educated okanye u-certified okanye u-qualified, ubunomona 99% of the time you will never make it. So ngizacela nathi apha eRuby sizame ususa umona ezinhliziyweni zethu, sisusebenzile, sifune ukuba senze ezinye i-millionaires ne-multi-millionaires nge-contribution yethu yothi at least I helped him cross. And we will never win, never nisuphumelela without social development, creating a bridge for me to cross, so others can cross. Ngalo mazwi, may the Lord bless everyone who wants to see others cross.
Clouds are falling, the rain is coming, the rain is coming, the rain is coming.
Oh,
isele baba. Sabela kakhulu ke uyasibona siphume into akho singenani. Sishoda ngokuba umama uJabu athi masokhompyutha nezinto lezi. Ujabu nasiphophasa. Kodwa sicela ukwamela eKapa. Sifike eKapa. Ukuphatha sezizobe yakho. Ayikuliphaya. Siyabonga kakhulu isikhathi sethu. Bakhona abantu abathanda balapha, isinayo umama balapha. It's nice to be here. One way. All right, police. Must be the school country. Bakhona abantu abaqalisa. Asizungisa ke tala sibesonke ngenyawo. Please. Can I get your attention, please? Or else I will take you out. Oh. I'm MC. You know I'm the master of the ceremony. Can you imagine the master? I'm your master. Please. So, police then, since our step up item number 5, which is navigating career and purpose as a young leader. After Miss Quenta, we are going to break for a lunch. Then the speaker said to speaker stood. After Miss Quenta, we are going to break for a lunch. Now, all right. I was good. Okay, police and tell Miss Quenta, Palace and after the public. Let us welcome her inside the food.
So I don't know about you, but obviously there's just something when people meet you, basically say call who you are. So before I actually start today with the topic that I've been given, I just want you to take away 3 things from whatever I'm going to say. To remember the purpose, the plan, and the progress. Right? So Jeremiah, I knew you before I found you in your mother's womb. So which means that God created you for a particular purpose. God manufactured more. So the car is not manufactured, and you know what engine capacity you want to build into the car, how fast you want to go, about even in terms of
output, etc. So you always create a manufactured car for whatever purpose. So even you, all of us have then been created for a particular purpose, right? So the purpose is quite important. And then he also says that I know the plans I have for you. One of the most important things is to plan, right? So even God knew, but before God informed us that there's definitely a plan for all of our lives. And so even you should definitely then have a plan for your life. He even goes on to say, well, I'm not going to be here with actually referencing very well because I'm here on 20. So he says in notes that you must write the vision down and make it plain so that whoever comes after you can be able to continue and execute, right? So it means that he had mentioned initially, but you need to have a strategy, which means that the purpose that you understand of who you are, you need to be able to have a plan for it. So that when you write it down, you can then be able to measure if the plan is going according to plan, so that hopefully what you may suppose to be so you can be able to move around and make do with what you can. So the other one is Bandas, but he director was the youngest director department, etc., etc. So I arrived in the department when I was, I think 25, 26, as the director was the youngest director, etc. So, I am now director for youth development and I'm in my 30s, so I think that some design is a personal so that I can be able to navigate and understand what I'm here for. So, by profession, I'm a quantity surveyor, so I built, right? So that means that when I actually decided to actually go into the building space, I knew what I wanted. I wanted to get into property development. I wanted to make money, which is the ideal thing that you want to do when you practice a you want money and you can't run away from that. So one of the biggest things that I always wanted was to get into property because I was surrounded by a lot of property people, property developers, surveyors, etc. at home. So I've seen, but it's my call, I'm in the surveying space, so that's what I want initially. So that becomes the purpose of the drive, of which why I actually want to get into that space. And so I've been actually asked to speak about navigating career and purpose as a young leader. And so it becomes quite complex because you now have to put together who you are and you must put together what you do and as a leader. And so I firstly like to state that leadership is not positional. So you are not a leader by virtue of you having a title. And so once you can be able to understand that, that means that you can adapt to situations and you can adapt to how you lead and you talk to people. Because if you understand that anyone can actually be a leader, right? Because actually I can't carry my name without her leading. So that means that you must relinquish power and be able to understand that everybody is a leader from where they're at. And everybody has a voice and everybody has a perspective. And as a leader, you need to be able to be cognizant of that and also understand that you can be a leader, but you can be a diminishing leader. So one of the most important things is understanding what kind of leadership you are in, because you can be a diminishing leader in the sense that so that's actually a very bad type of leadership, because that means that you are actually diminishing this person. This person has got no capacity to grow because mentally, and sometimes you never out of because you want to make sure that you empower them, you train them so that they can actually lead, and so that you can be able to empower a person. And I also was right, the person was and so it becomes important then for you to understand that everybody sitting there is actually either in their every right, in their position, because everybody makes a decision every day when they wake up and go to work. And so purpose, as I said, is definitely then what drives me, what helps me adapt. And there's also one quote that I like, I think everyone might know this about, by Charles Darwin. He says that it is not the most strongest of people that survive, it's also not the most intelligent people, and that's very important. So the people who actually survive are the ones that are most adaptable to change. So that means that if we can be able to adapt to situations, no matter the circumstances, you must have the capacity to adapt, because if you don't, so those are the things that then drive. You must be able to understand that but you can be able to maneuver and that, because you understand who you are. So then, as I said before, the purpose is obviously understanding why you exist. And so for me, everybody who knows me, who's worked with me, knows that one of my core is to drive development. I exist to develop. I even have things on my Facebook, so statuses, what you call in your bio, so it's very clear that if it's developmental, I'm in. It doesn't matter what it is, whether I'm sitting here standing today talking to you so that I can develop you with whatever it is that I'm saying, I'll do it. Whether it is building buildings to develop so that people can stay with them, I'll build it, I'll do that. Whether it's developing young people, changing policies so that you can create opportunities for people to develop, I'll do it because it aligns with what I do. I am for development, and that is my purpose, that's what drives me, so it doesn't matter who I'm for government, I'll still be able to develop. And so there's one of the critical things that I always say, I'm like, I don't identify as a government employee, and people are always trying because you're a government, so like I know, so that even if you're put I'll still do what I need to do, I'll still be who I am, I'll develop. And so being like that means that you don't have to be scared in the circumstances that you put in, you don't have to worry about where you're at, but you need to understand what it is that you want, and how can you leverage what you have around so that it can get you to where you need to go. And so basically that purpose will give you a clarity and drive so that you can be able to wake up every day and do what you need to do. For example, who woke up today with a plan? My husband said, anybody had a plan? Wake up and go fly and do something. Yeah, so you have a purpose for your plan, for your day. And so it becomes important to even go to those details of planning your day so that you can wake up, because in planning we have what we call scope, time management, organization, all of those things. Because I'm a project manager, that's what I do. So I cannot deviate and go over certain things, and I have to be limited in terms of time. Because if I go over pleasure, or if I go over the scope, it costs me, whether it costs me money, whether it costs me time, etc. So compromise, or whether it costs me quality, because it means that it's because I don't even have sufficient time for it. So you always have to integrate your plan against the scope in terms of what you need to do, in terms of your time, in terms of the quality, in terms of the essence of what you can bring in. So basically, you need to be able to write that down. So how many people have written down to the calendar? Because I always have alarms going on about people planning to see companies, people planning to wake up and go to the gym, I need to eat, I need to do that. Does anybody do that just for a day? Meaning, you just wake up and do what you got to do, you don't know what it is, yeah, so for me that's you're wasting your time, you're wasting your breath, because I've got a lot of people to work on this. So now, that's what I said in the beginning, but whatever you do, you can remember the purpose, the plan, and the progress, because it means that I can measure the day about what I do. And if there's something I have not done, how do I make sure that I feel that, right? And so that's what has always kept me. That's why I create structure for myself, because I think that without a structure, without a plan, if you have a plan, you actually can dictate who you want to be and which spaces you want to be, and you can be intentional in the conversations that you have. Why are you having that particular conversation? Why are you talking to this person? Why? Yeah. So it becomes very important because you can be able to then measure. Are you living up to your plan? And you can also keep yourself accountable. You don't even need somebody to keep you accountable. You can be able to keep yourself accountable to what you need to do. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to come across challenges, you're not going to be confronted with a lot of things. But you don't have that, you always know you can be able to keep your eyes on the prize. When you encounter challenges, you must be able to rise above the altitude, because the mouse will die a natural death. So that's what in essence it means, that you don't concern yourself with things that are not your problem, because those are waste pressure, you know that religion has got nothing to do with that will die a natural death. And so that helps you be able to navigate. And then MZONYANA is one of the biggest things that I've been confronted with, buildings, right? So So I deal with structures, but when you become a leader, I deal with people. And this is the most difficult part of leading because most things. And I used to think that in those environments in the engineering space, you deal with a lot of difficult things, complex, because making sure that buildings don't fall on people, they don't die. But as I've grown into the leadership space, one of the most difficult things to do is people. So that means that as a leader, you have to go above your intelligence in terms of the skill, in terms of what you can do, and understand that dealing with people means that you kind of have to be emotionally intelligent. When I'm out there, that means that you are exercising emotional intelligence, which is something that a lot of people lack as they grow because they are unable to manage themselves, they don't know how to deviate, they don't know what things they should be engaging in and not, which means that they are not emotionally intelligent. And sometimes, according to they understand that they do not have to deal with you. Because you literally move, so why So basically, you must understand the difference between IHUB and EQ and you must exercise it, right? And you don't want to be in those groups where you're clever, but I can't, you don't want that. So you want to be able to be human, and be able to navigate and operate from your core. Because a lot of people will actually utilize education or intelligence to engage people, but it's really not about that. Because we've got a lot of successful people who go to school because they were able to operate from the capacity of who they are from their core. And they were able to rise beyond whatever circumstances that they're in because by our past never and make use of their surroundings. And we work in government, so it means that sometimes you can't achieve this now as achiever, which is the work side, which is not like the purpose, but in terms of the work. Because to be quite honest, work in government is a very bureaucratic place. So we've got lots of processes that hinder what in terms of what you can and can't do. So one of the biggest things that we're able to help you is networking, creating social capital. A lot of people are able to move with a lot of things because they're always fixating themselves on money, but you need financial capital. But if you actually break down, if you look at what you actually need to use that money for, is to pay social capital. So if you are able to people well, and you are able to create quality relationships, you can then be able to almost override that financial situation because normally you put particular equipment, you want to pay someone for a particular service, etc. But if you are able to create relationships that can be social capital, it's actually a thing. You don't have to pay right now, you can leverage, you can negotiate because it's a relationship, right? And so one of the things that I think that people the most is finances, and I don't think that we've been schooled enough in terms of finances and understanding the breakdown and the makeup of what makes a person's finance. And so I think this is why I go back to the purpose and go back to the fact that you kind of have to be a person so that you can be able to do good and do good relationships, right? Because other people who have studied economics might know what you call the Constable theory. There is no such thing as free lunch. So that means that whatever relationship you engage in, you are investing for a return on investment later. It might not be right now, but it's going to yield some sort of a return. So therefore, you must leverage, you must be street smart, and I think those are things that I've been able to utilize. And then again, police so growing up in that situation, understanding when they're operating footwork, unfortunately you cannot apply that because you've seen it. It works. That's why you're able to navigate and utilize relationships and leverage because you might not be where you need to be, but you can make use of the people around you. They're streetwise. This is why people are streetwise and make it, and people who gone to school don't because they know how to make use of their networks, their relationships. And one of the other things that I make use of, because I grew up as an in the villages, although I went to school elsewhere, but the transition between life and the urban areas create a particular outcome in terms of how you put life and the disparities between the two. So there's a concept of child or whatever you call it. So one of the critical things that I've always observed is that there's an element of co-creation and collaborating, because I saw the words don't pay these people, but they come here because you also apply the same principle. And what I've taken from Umtoni is that not everybody can bring money, but others bring advice in terms of guidance, in terms of what you can and can't do. And so the art of collaborating and creating relationships is actually very critical, even in your own spaces in terms of how, because if you have a vision in terms of that, where you want to go, and nobody can make that decision for you except for you are then able to understand where you are, what resources, what opportunities do you have. And one of the critical things that work does for you is that it gives you access to people and access to places. And if you are unable to make use of people and places, then it goes back to your purpose. Perhaps you must just look within and understand how you then best put your obligations in terms of who you want to be. Because church is coming back out of a plan for you to prosper you and not to harm you. So how do you make sure that happens? And he has then given you guidance in terms of writing the vision and make it plain. And therefore, you must make sure that you measure in terms of what you can do, making use of the places that is put you in. It doesn't matter where you're at, and that's why I would say that leadership does not have to be positional, but then you make use of the spaces that you are in. And one of the things that I have learned in trying to merge in leadership and my career as well as my purpose is understanding I need to always almost do an analysis and understand where I am. Who knows what the VUCA world is? VUCA, where we are at right now. Does anybody know? I have but I understand why anybody who understands who understands VUCA? VUCA. So, was never some of my era, right? So there's different eras that we are operating in. Some of my era, people now we're using cell phones, right? Now, but must be called that. In the youth lab and all, in the Atlantic has the code of so we are in an era that transitions, that is constantly adapting. And this is why I said initially that it's always important to understand your purpose, understand your plan, and measure the progress, because Charles Darwin, it's not the strongest, it's not the intelligence, but it's the one who has to adapt to change that will succeed. So Kodak was one of the biggest companies in terms of multimedia, photography, and all of these things. But when the cell phones arrived, Kodak is one of the biggest case studies in terms of making a loss in the digital space, because they didn't understand all kinds of the board members or the leaders of that space were not able to adapt to the current markets. So Kodak was in a space of capturing memories. And then phones came, and then they had cameras. So Kodak went out of the market. Now, obviously, the business or the person, one of the two things can happen if you are Kodak. Now, you can apply this to your own life, but imagine Kodak. What am I for? What is my purpose, so that I can understand how to move? So Kodak missed that opportunity. They could have bought into the cell phone spaces to expand their market. They could have created cell phones they already can reach. Every time you must have strategy. And one of the biggest things that you do with strategy is consolidate and defend what you have. So Kodak was not able to defend what they had. They lost cell phones, now you've got iPhone, you've got Samsung, you've got all these people that have taken leads in terms of cameras. Nobody buys a cell phone camera anymore. Yeah, I want to do because I can't have to. But we already are now making use of cell phones every day, biggest market, because they have now lost out on the biggest thing because they failed to adapt with their purpose of capturing memories. Because the phone does exactly that. It captures memories. So that's how the value proposition is. That's what you sell. So if it means that you move out of the actual capturing and getting to the modern way of capturing, they should have transitioned. It's the same for your purpose. If you don't understand what your purpose is, you won't be able to adapt. So, for instance, for me, I literally had to move from infrastructure to youth development, and most people will probably worry about how the hell is she going to operate because the mobile she's an infrastructure, etc. And people don't know me. They don't know my purpose, they don't know what I'm for, and my purpose is developmental. So I was asking you about VUCA. So VUCA, it means we are living in a volatile space right now with lots of uncertainty, with lots of complexities and very ambiguous because our economy, the economy is going up and down, everything is rising, like who wrong? So the antidote for volatility would be vision. Now the vision will talk to your purpose because you have to be very clear in terms of this is where I want to go, I want to develop. The economy is going to how do I make sure that I develop in a complex and volatile economy. So your vision must be very clear so that even if you find out the move, what does development mean for you? So it means that you must get to a space, you must understand how you best apply who you are and what you do, which is development. So you build the same way. Building principles give you the foundation, you need the walls, the roof, etc. But the most important thing when we are building is that first we're an architectural firm, also telling you about them, that's what you can teach about. But without that picture, you're unable to build. So a QS and engineers, etc., will be able to tell this is how much your house is going to cost, these are the kind of materials that you can be able to utilize, and this is the time frame that you can take to be able to build your house and execute it. The same with your vision, you have to craft a clear picture of what you want. Because from that picture, you can then understand what is it going to cost you in terms of time, effort, as well as finances. In fact, even cutting other people off, you're not contributing to what you want to do. And in terms of time, in terms of investment as well, etc. So you need to have a very clear picture so that that picture keeps you to your vision. So that even in volatile times, you go with circumstances that are volatile, your vision is very clear. Because all your vision is clear, in uncertain situations, you have to create an understanding. Because economy, when it's not operating in a good way, then you know that you must probably adjust so that your vision can still be attained. So you know you must cut down certain things. So you have to have an understanding that how am I still going to make and achieve my vision even in these uncertain conditions. Because what if I lose my job? What happens because things are very uncertain? So it means that you must understand what do you want so that you can be able to adapt to what is going on. Because what that does is that in a complex situation where as one team, it creates a particular clarity so that you are very clear in terms of this is where I want to go, understand that this is what you will need to do, and then that will help you adapt. Because in ambiguous circumstances, when your vision is clear, you know what choices you need to make, and you are able to adapt to fit and align to your vision. And so, in a VUCA world, it is always said that leaders don't panic, because leaders understand the vision, and it's very clear, and so that means that you need not panic, but that means that you kind of have to speak to yourself, you kind of have to know who you are so that you can be able to navigate. And so I moved to youth development and I must make shift what is there. So as I said before, one thing that I do the most in terms of development is social capital by leverage. I will obviously create relationships, bring the likes of the Mazoi to partner, because I understand I need to develop communities. He doesn't need money from me or the department, but he needs more resources, he needs more raw materials. We've got a lot of unemployed graduates, we've got a lot of unemployed youth in the communities, and we took pay that in the communities. So how do you merge that to make sure that you talk to this person who's got access to market, who can grow and scale his business, utilizing the communities and making sure that you strengthen that relationship without actually paying for anything, but it's a mutual beneficial relationship. And so you open it up to people so that people can actually change their mindset. Because all of you work in society, work in communities, you understand what is there. So how do you integrate such opportunities in the workspace to make sure that the communities develop and the communities benefit? Because but how do you then make sure that you create consumers out of people? Now, a consumer, you are not a consumer. So we're dealing with a lot of communities that have inability to buy bread. And so that means that if you have to tell about 14, right? About 14. Why wouldn't you want to play in the value chain and become a part and parcel of it? Similar to bread, why would you want to constantly buy stuff when you are not even providing the means so that you can benefit? Because remember, what you want to do with communities, you want to create a social aspect, but you also want to create an economic aspect, as well as utilize the infrastructure that is available so that you can create a live and active and developed community. And so when you do that, then that means that you are actually, for me, living your purpose, because you are able to integrate communal development, economic development, social development in one go just by creating relationships. And so for me, one of the biggest things is leveraging on social capital, not financial capital, because it gives me a good footing and a return on investment. Because if you target young people, how am I going to do that? Unless I partner with the likes of these guys in different sectors. He's only in agriculture. There's lots more others in the different spaces, because in this industry that we're in, in this era we're in right now, we're in a creative space, we're in a creative era, an educative era. That means that creativity is a new means of generating economic activity, and something that we have to know, and something that we have to tap into. They've got, and we'll see, people didn't even understand digital TVs and all of these things, and people cannot fathom how these people make money from this thing. And these are the kind of things that our young people right now have grown up with. They are accustomed to self. It's a no-brainer that you're not affecting. Right? But now you want to only participate as a consumer and not a creator in that. So it's the same thing. You must go to raw material, whatever, and you actually drink it at the end. The creative space is the same thing. You create content, you leverage, you make money, and you actually create economic means of value. So it's the same thing, but it's all about understanding who you are, where you're at, what do you want to do, and how big can you actually go, and what opportunities can you make you surround you so that you can be able to scale. So, and obviously that means that government is always trying to create public-private partnerships, but we never see them being a lot beneficial. Our communities, even despite these interventions, they're still poor. How do you make sure you uplift communities? So you must really need everybody here to actually play a part. If you're in social work, you understand your vision, you understand what role are you playing in that space to ensure that if public-private partnerships are actually fruitful and they are meaningful and they've got proper community development aspect. So basically what this means for me in terms of integrating leadership, career and purpose is that I've got to work inside the department with limited resources and bureaucratic processes, but I've got to work outside the department to create those relationships that I have, because who I am is not what I do. I can easily leave tomorrow and I'll still extend and scale and do what I need to do. I'm not limited to where I am. And as I said before, I don't identify as a government employee. I'm not binary politics like that in government, because it doesn't matter where you put me, I'll still do the same thing. I'll still do who I am, because that's what I've created when I understand that. And so basically, nobody can actually teach you that unless you actually constantly understand that and give yourself time to actually understand who you are. I had, this is part of the show before I leave. In high school, I had a headmaster who used to tell us that you don't have to do anything in this world except to die, but you are going to deal with the consequences of your actions or inactions, because it means that you don't have to do nothing, but the consequences of your choice are going to be all over you. And so basically that means that everybody here has got that choice. You've got a choice to do something, you've got a choice to do nothing. I couldn't look better, the consequences are yours. And so that means that it's your life, you call it your love, you only live once, it can never be another you. And people always think that I'm a bit cocky when I say this, because I've always been that, but I saw the you know what I mean? And that's true, because you kind of have to do. And I always say that, do you, and when you create partnerships, when you look at what it is that you have to do, you've got to be able to understand that I can't move around, no one of it. But only could be better, similar could be a lot more. It's not going to be me, because I understand who I am. And so in those words, basically, we don't have to do anything except to die. The choices and the consequences of what you do is all of you. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to do this later. Okay. Así va a ir, como así, Clouds are forming. The rain is coming. Colleagues, yeah. Ufike lo solo vamos a ir fellow seconds. See, you are going to
amathuzi bana bethu awasekho kaMthweni yawuse ilanga seliqelele ukutshona phansi kwentaba kodwa mandibulele leadership of this department ngakumbi umphathiswa ehlukana ipha legislature xa bendikhona into yokokuba mandiyomamela kakuhle into yoba ndizawufumana malini kuhlahlo lwamali lwanamhlanje. I don't want to divulge that because you know I've seen your annual performance plans. About what I know what you're saying. I'm covered in this man. Sithe sisagula no-MEC wezemali waphaka umphathiswa wenu wathi sifuna more money than 2.9 billion because I want to employ social workers. Ingawa kuthiwa akukho nemali yoba ngilaliswe namhlanje. Kuzofuneka ndingawule ndiwafuke ukwenzela into yokokuba nihambe nisakhana. Thank you very much for this opportunity to come and share this important platform this afternoon with illustrious men and women. Abantu ababonakala into yokokuba abaphansi kokwekwe lenkangeleko abantu abakhanyisileyo. Ukwenzela into yokuba ukulapha umkhitha welizwe abantu besakhana. Zona inqwenelela imihlaba emide. Zona inqwenelela nonyaka omhle nisinde labantu amakhele elizwe. Ukwenzela into yokuba nokuba abantwana benu bashiya ngentsasa yobuya ngabakhaya. Babona uba abazali bethu zange baphangelelelise. Zaningathi ngemihlaka yethu yokugqibela xa selithe ukuba ulutsha elokuyinherited ilizwe selutshile phezu kwamangcwaba alini. Bathi amathuba kuwanikile badlalisa ngawo. But in you, I believe, we still have hope to re-engineer this society and propel it to move forward. Youth is a gift of nature, says Baba, but age is a work of art. And in youth we learn, and in age we understand. Let us get of fun. Youth is a gift of nature. When I see this forum in front of me, I'm extremely motivated that there is still a future that we must cultivate. And we need to build this leadership today for future to inherit. Ababhadala ngoku premiums besithi ngexesha labo lokuphumla bazokwazi ukuharvest phezulu kwesantya uba sikazanga kuyenza loo nto sobe sifalse kwipromise yethu zawuthetha nto ezimbalwa ezinye zazo ndiqeli kunjalo ezinye zazo ndivuka ezigubeni nizibona into yoba zinakho ukuniphazamisa nalapha emsebenzini endibona namhlanje. Uba ke ndithe ndahamba phezu kwesikoro setrain osiqhelileyo, just say bravo, we are moving forward. But I'm here, it's only transparent in someone ukwenzela into yokokuba apho bafumana iiletters ezithi you are hereby appointed as a deputy director, as a senior manager, as an assistant director, as a senior chief whatever. Abanye bathi bagoduka bayokuxhelile besithe nkosi mathala ngokokuba kwenzeka kweli khaya andibodwa odumileyo kodwa abanye bathe bawumimitheka babonakala bababahle kwakho nabantu abababonayo kwaye kwakucacelwa into yokokuba lo umntu endinokuba those are privileges that some don't have normally. It is then, Mamujab, life is divided into three terms. That which was, that which is, and that which will be. And I take this important session of today will enable us to learn from the past to profit from that past in order to profit the present. And I think from the present, we need to live a better life in the future. And the things that we do outlast our mortality. And things that we do are like monuments that build and honor heroes and heroines after they have died. Akona abantu abazawuzalwa suppose. Bafe kuthi kwa. Kungabi khona into eyawuthethwa ngamagama abo. Kodwa bakhona abathe bazalwa badla bafa bezinto ezibuhlungu kwabanye abantu. And they will forever be emulated and remember by the damage they created and the devastation they caused to other human beings. The bad hope, nalapha emsebenzini ke abakhona lokho kubekho nje abantu abakhokelisweyo in order to create misery for others. And I want to uplift as you move forward. Ukhuthaza abantu with passion. Nobe uyafadala endimeni njengokuqhela ukhokhela inkalo. Ujikele nasemva uye nasemsileni uyicele noba mayigqithini. Abakhona abantu abathi indima seyigqikiwe kungekho kubhanka okwenzekileyo angakwazi ukuthi thank you very much you faithful servant. Umsebenzi wakho wenziwe. Nansi ileta kwimali yakho. Ethi this is exceeding our expectations. Zokukhuthaza abantu ukuphathiswa abantu abaphatha ngokukhona. Ukwenzela into yokuba adasibone nalo u-underperformer into yokuba we are in a directorate of performance. We are meeting our targets. We understand why we are employed. So that xa unikwa uthu ungakhalazi uqoba indilile kuba into endiyenzayo mna I'm performing below standard. In leader, every position of trust and authority, imbone nokuthi perform below standard. Imsondele ithethe naye. This is social development. Imizele ebone ningakwazi. Ihlale naye phansi uxele into yoba I'm not happy with what you are doing. Sikuncede yiphi imnike more extra lessons and courses ukumphakamisa. Imbali abantu abamnyama asinophinde sihlukumezane. Umuntu ohlukumeza umuntu uyasenzakalisa. This is what this afternoon is trying to say. The foundation stones, my leadership, for balanced success is honesty. Khona abantu abanikwa xa kodwa umuntu befaka umuntu apha kodwa short and honest. They call it honest. Uba ngathunywa kule office but uyathandatyuzwa. Uba awukwelele emlonyeni. Because one thing is bad. Asazi basawufika saphelele na izinto ebezikulinda. Because you lack possession of honesty. But part of the balance in what we are trying to build is honesty. ASP in character. Understanding what's wrong, cooking intent. Ukhabana bazofunda emsebenzini, ukhaselele eqeshiwe permanently, but you are lacking a value of character. Uthi nokuhamba kwakho ubona umuntu lo one traits that I can follow. Because the character le yakhe thetha imilo isonti xa eme phambi kwabantu, you can be built from within and you can see things because lokhu ukuthatha from the world of the unknown ayubiliswe ongakhambiye kulo as if you've ever arrived back. That is what we want this session to think about. Character. Eyesithathu yi-integrity. Umuntu ongenakho integrity uthi seyinxiba isuti eyi-tailor-made ungoba yindlavini yomdlengele akukho lokuzala. Because once you lack integrity, integrity is the price of men and women of solitude. Some have not integrity force. Sidela nasikaka. Uthi ube mbona uba le family inenekazi. Elithi xa liphethe ipesi yabo ulinika isitulo wena ungumfana. But when there is no integrity in a person, you don't see value of making it additional. That is the third element that I believe when we are trying to build leadership. Those are good traits. Study faith. Uthi ngosuqeshe ungakholelwa ukuqeshiwe. Ubehave njengomuntu osafuna uqesha. Bakhona abantu abanjalo. Ungona ulibele into yokuba une-position permanent yophuma at age 60 and 65 in this department. Azibukele nje inyawo zakhe. Ikedama zifike zibe phambi kwakhe zimke zibila. Because you don't have faith in yourself that I get to serve. Not only to serve, but to give meaning to service. Offices must have now minds just to give our elders where they are. Who does this? Of course, there was new offices who couldn't even let us go back and figure it out. He was in the department. Who said you cannot design that in your goods and services? So that you can have it independent and negative office. Then can only and about the law because of the untoken spirit. It interface and interaction beyond in the end about I am served by my government of the African majority. It's nearly seen. So it has a let me say. But if I have faith in the promise, so I they establish love. Love in that. Love and manager targets. Because we have to exploit when the man who are always looking for exploitation of opportunities. And if you're a leader, you need to catalyze things. Your love must be to push in your team. Your love must be to tell the truth. Ufake isiqhele ebantwini kuba sekulinyiwe wonke umuntu ohamba kule ndima uzawuchitha ngezithole kuba awuthembakalanga kwinkonzo yosababa. Uthando lwethu lungalenzi singakwazi ukunqanda. Ungade usuke ngaphambi komphathi as peers together in this unity, in this sub-unit, in this element sikwazi ukuxelela abantu bajonge ubunini imoto karhulumente wena uhamba uyibhorha ubuhamba ngayo nge-weekend ubuya kuphamabhiya msebenzi. Those are the things that devastate the image of African leadership. We can't be part of doing those things. And the last thing is loyalty. Ungaloyal, but more loyal to yourself. Ukimuzoba loyal njani kwabanye abantu. And I want to appreciate this session by saying honesty is the first character in the book of wisdom. And character is like a tree, and the reputation is like a shadow. In the civil service of our country, we have done as part. Real change begins because attitude determines your action, and action determines your accomplishment. And they determined that this must be acted upon. They designed memorandums. They went to the department and looked back, said, money for you to travel. But today, we have accomplished that action. A round of applause to all. You are not free until your past has no disturbance into your future. Ufuneka singathi kuba sizalwa ngamahlwempu abantu abangenani. Umuntu ole-age yami osele efikile e-fifth row akalungayazi into okokuba siphuma kumakhaya apho utata wayebuya once in 6 months. Athi xa ebuyile thetha nge-social development eshiya umama for 6 months kungekho mntu abakhulisa aba bantwana yedwa ifika indoda ibona uRhoda vele abathatha ingasiba benziwe ngantoni. Kanti kukho lo mama uthwala inyanga ayokha amanzi abuya achofa izitena akhindlu ibuye indoda esala umqeshi kwabayigoduke afike nje abhalise into okokuba ngosuku lesithathu ndiyaphela kakhona. Uthi umama yena xa ifile eRhawutini akanokwazi uba rekostele because imithetho yangaphambili ibingaphi. That is the kind of families that will be inherited. Abantu abamnyama bakhula abantwana bemdawu uyise bangutata because ubona once abe 81 86 engakamkhulu kamdala uthe ufika insuku ezithathu lithi kanti ndiyaqhela bese yahamba. Fika sinabantwana khona abandwebela ungaqondi. They are doubtful about their fathers and their families. Omama bakhula bebodwa and they can be creative at the same time in order to balance up the scale of shortage. This is the society that has been devastated by the system of the past. Tina has been ithuba to govern and manage resources. Let's think about those families because they are here. Silero Nampo live they said the situation. I'm saying this because we are not employed because we must self-aggrandize our presence. There is the past that we need to correct. There is the future that we need to deposit. And there is inheritance that abantu out the abantwana bama Africa bayawukona ukulawenza. Ipolicies ziphelele to enye abantwana baba. And I think this department is therefore strategic to provide that fellowship. Singathi xa sisenza izinto sizenze 30 days sisabasa kwamkela 70 times. But in 30 days you must count the success of your story. California, stay vigilant while Baba happens. Yang ngajar orang maju di program director, bukan bahasa serali kita. Saya itu yang masih Sunday, bukan ini. Ingat ikut berpindah ke situ. Oh, dia berkata dia, nanti kit. Uang besar. Aduh besok kumpet, aku nanti lagi pada kami besok silam. Ingin lagi cesna yang menanggu, dia apa? This business affect tema kain itu, jangan malu dan nama kasih. Sini impact when you treasure, M7 nak production, M7 is speak up. I will make that chance. And keep your heart focused on good foods, and avoid things that might compromise or genuinely live life. Avoid and guard against false teachings. Of false uqeqesheke kwindima yokugcina ungakwazi totally ukwaqala. And that is what we need to ameliorate as leaders sitting here. Uthi ke lonto unavoidable stations in the path to greatness. Unatuzitsho kuba ndizokutha as leaders zangomso i-rejection. Bakhona abantu abazima be-rejected nje. Abantu abanye bawalahle emgqomeni bakholwe ngabanye abantu babe nabathisi babazise kwi-houses of comfort banqabi in return, and those kids at times become individuals of value in society. But the truth of the matter is that they were once rejected. Bakhona namaphezulu xa ndithutsho itafule nganye xa ndinokubuza umbuzo uba soke warejectwa kangani umntu abatsho amaxesha anawo e-rejection athi mhlawumbi uba yinsosukhali umhlobo bendirejectwa kolu yesterday ndizamokana naloo nto nangoku. But those are stations that human living must experience in life. Into kwamaxesha makunjalo e-rejection uthi urejectwe so uye kwi-interviews uzame kangangoko kwi-intern kule department kungekho ungayenziyo uzibona iiposti ziyeza kuba imithandazo yaphezulu kuba kukho umntu omnye who is dissatisfied with you, and that individual cost your life with eternity. Aqiniseke into okokuba let's reject him all. That is the station at times esidlula kuzo njengabantwana bezwe ngenyama negazi. Singacingi uba zonke izinto will mean comfort and glory. There are stations awaiting for us tomorrow to be rejected. Eyesibini i-betrayal. Ngoku umntu ukuhamba naye yini tshomi akungathi umntu ingathi zange wakubona. Such is life, my neighbors. If you have never been betrayed by the one that you know best, yazi wawungafiki kwisitishi sokokuba ukhanyela nabantu ebebekwazi. Abantu abake bahlala kwi-interviews ukuyibona amunengotu entonto yamazi yamazi chomnyama alithu izulu galakatyana ngenxa yoba you-applicate. Eyesithathu defamation. Umuntu ehleli nje is trying to defame indakeni umthathu agaye nakwiyunyomo eyofana into yokokuba mawubulawe ngaphakathi. Abakho abantwana naye kwifamily must never succeed as long as isaphilayo. Akudefame such that bakholelwa abantu bebana into yoba ayakho umntwana. But there is always second chance in society. Don't bury someone alive. There is tomorrow everlasting. Those churches are sendinama obona izinto ezenziwa ngabantu kubanye abantu. Being cheated on, but passed through. Don't camp there, lest you become a victim. One of the cheating. Yayazi ubana siqalanye mina. Kunjalo nje nale niyaziyo liyiproblem. Abantu abaninzi abadluli kuyo because yenye istation esukugcina wenzakele ngaphakathi. Uchitha umuntu umthembi ngoba hayi ngokugqibela anophinde emva kwakhe. Angajithi umuntu abuye ngolala. Yabona ingxaki kwakunjalo. As a leader ke kunafuneka beyinkokheli nangosochithelo. Into bandizayithini nathi kwamazwe lo msebenzi. But mine being here is just to say that is a station also. A leader might sail through and move forward even if the wind is coming from the front. What I can tell, adjust your sail and move forward. That is what we're supposed to do. Because something happens now, yes, this is productivity at work. How frequently, my social workers that are here. Kuboneza izinto ungazange waceba ungazibona. Umuntu oqondayo kwakho umuntu ofanayo. uyibona ukuthunza phakathi kunjalo nje ukuphelisa umoya ohlulaka lapha amadoda nabanye abafazi xa kufika kodwa aqonda uba mandithathe isibhamu nobe nimamele inkqubo yasesele namhlanje ithi le chef usisinde nabanabo ndathatha isibhamu nanayo umntu ubani and I'm 20 years today ngento endandithathe 5 seconds to just think about it mhlawumbi ndithathe isigqibo to take a step back mhlawumbi thixo bezawuyenza inyoba ndiphinde ndithi stay 3 steps forward ndiphile ubomi obungenasiseko. How do we manage those kinds of trials and tribulations in us sitting here as leaders? Andifuna uthetha nge-leadership yeparlamente ndithetha ngathi as individuals, because if we can't do those kinds of leadership traits xa fika eziparlamente sigcwelelekile sizakwenza imithetho that are funny because we want to address our own limitations. That is a crisis that we are experiencing. So the power of youth is the commonwealth for the entire world. The power of youth is the commonwealth for the entire world. The faces of young people are the faces of the past, are the faces of the present, and are the faces of the future. Usenethemba lokuzawuphinda umbone nangomso selekhulile uphinde umbone nangalaa mini selemntu omdala, because a young person of today represents the epochs and phases. But the question over sizawubakha njani aba in the leadership that is supposed to provide. Towards the end program director, the abuse of substance, abuse of drugs, the abuse of liquor. And the team has been governed self-education. God has always does not live and self. Because not everything, actually too much of everything is fatal. I don't know the God one for the seller in a hole. What is also figure one, what has no the same time, we take a greater of power. What very proud of the situation. What is the prevalent? The same part of Amen. After the other president, the Guru is the effects of doing those things is going to affect you in the future. It causes death. Tell over one. That is where abantu balenzakale ngenxa yeqala likalunji bonwabele bona xa ibhodi kumntu ngokwenza ifole inkosikazi ngathi ndiyabuya ngo-3 abele u-7 engafikanga iselfowuni ayibanjwa kanti bonakele xa sokuthathwa nguthixo ephuthuma ekuthatha u-high intoxicated shiya lingcwelekile lo khaya. But see because it's a death. So the performance of a man is debilitating. Amandla okwanikiwe uThixo okokuba wakhele ifemeli njengendoda abonakalisa ubunzima ke noko ubukhawuleze uphume entsimini ikuba kusafuneka liqhubile. That is the challenge of these intoxications. I want to go to where on 2011 my leadership about having accident about 188,000 normal. Would we go to a visiting close to 21 in the emergency services. Belise order threat. Uthetha umntana omkhulu oswear lokhulumele ethu a negative statement. Uthi sifunde thuba kodwa kufuneka sibuyele eSouth Africa to study about trauma. Because ethuba kongozi. Ogqirha bafunde ethuba wonke umuntu uphilile. xa befuna kakubona inceba leeboss mabaphinde bakhwele ibhaloni bazositadisha kwizibhedlela zasemzantsi because ezalapha kusukela ngolwesine loo mangekawo umnxilo wethu ushivo zokuhlele entanyeni. That is the crisis and the calamity of a normal society like ours. The internal because many implications of the resources that are limited, like the resources that we have. There's an issue of as substances and drugs and alcohol increases risk of physical and sexual assault. Yeah, that one. Immediately, how that phelelwa imisebenzi abantu ngenxa yomnqilo nokusetyenziswa kwezidakamizwa. Uthi umuntu umbona uba befana linene lisemsebenzini awushiye umsebenzi ahambe aye ekantini abethe phaa ihambe iyegana neniphu aphinde abuyele eofisini asusukaveli iziphumo kuba iyagxothisa into yokunxiba emsebenzi. We are here to build links in this platform, Mrs. Mama. And if you can't start from within, it is going to be difficult to consume this budget, even if in not wrong. Yokubayenza underage disorders abantwana nakho bayazi lonke lonke. Sizavulelwa ngabantwana abane-retard problems. Singazi bakwenzeke ntoni. Kanti siyiqalisa imizimba yethu iyenzakalisa ngenxa ye-ages utywala esibuselayo. Ndithe nxa ngokuba agriculture xa ndimele ngabelungu kwi-events zabo. Asiziseli thina eziriski. Ziduru. Ezalo zitya i-black label. Zibetha ibhiya. Gwala iglasi. Bafuna ukukhawuleza njini. Because zinegusha efuneka sihlale zitofile. Thina siwisa imbodlela phantsi ezinyaweni. Kuba yi-escrow befuna siyithwale entloko. Kwenzela uba baqiniseke abantu babefike thina thina bantu. This is the situation that we need to attend. But I just want to encourage you that as managers, just get started with your programs. That is what I want to recommend. The only way to process and to proceed is to stop talking and start doing something. This division of wellness, ma'am, is a question. This is because it's killer community. But the moment Kalima identifies departmenting, ningapheleli kwaba basebenzayo, nicingele namakhaya basuka kuwo, after effects of this challenge. Nikwazi uba niyofikelela kuwo. The only thing, we must be less in talking and we must be magnanimous enough for action. And I think if you can do that, you build and move forward. ASP needs to just be optimistic. Niyonwabelele into yokokuba izona lezifana nenamhlanje sikulo alizofana nengomso esibhekayo. In any opportunity, the healingist sees obstacles. The idea sees the potential in any challenge and research while the others are asleep, act while some are thinking, and plan while some are playing, and vision whilst many are hoping. That is what this particular session must do. Forget about yesterday. It's someone's historical doses will not decide fate. Wrongdoings should never overwhelm yourself in your commitment to strive for higher sufficiency. And the other day is gone, but the tomorrow is forever. Wasn't talk about as I saw Zindakile's foundation stones and monumental enough for me to jump over to my promised ideas and learn more from the past failures that will build your success. If disappointments in creating a protagonist, and once you substitute the term faith with knowledge throughout your vocabulary, the sought after failure becomes the less overwhelming, and you proceed to concentrate on development. Afike lo ndawo sokwazi basakhe sizihane ngabantu abaright nabantu influential. Nizawukwazi ukwakhala njengoba kwenzeka apha. And just think beyond limits and never question your wildest thoughts. Uba nje ndingathi xa siphuma apha kule department funeke ii-divisions zizawuva kuthi zibuze kuthi zibone kuthi ngenxa yemilo yezinto esizabe sizenza, because we shall have been then be highly motivated and set the high standards for yourself first. Leadership set high expectation and refuses to embrace ineptitude, disastrous consequences. How you leader, you set high expectations. Ungathi fini phantsi kodwa uwaqhayisa into yokokuba ayikho ke. Ii-leaders masizibone ngezenzo, sizigcine ngemifanekiso yezinto abashiya ngasemva. There must be something that you believe, so that the generations after you can harvest and reap the rewards. Ungafuna uziqhayisa ngoba kuyinto ethile. Yabona nimele umntwana, for instance, uSpeaker no-Deputy are not speakers in the legislature. Asithethi thina. Mama la konke aba bantu 63 babathethayo. Manje uxelela khona. Sithetha kanje. Ii-rules zithi. But today I believe that start implementing what you know. Knowing is not enough. Start applying and implementing what you know. Wishing is not enough. Go out and start doing something. No shortcuts. I think go forget about shortcuts. The shortcuts is there are abantu who want to decorate their CVs for accumulation of competencies and qualifications that do not exist. Because you want a shortcut. But when you mean the shortcuts are waiting for us tomorrow. And when those things are discovered, your image and what you have built over time is just useless in society. Umntwana afune noyothenga ubhosa lethawa. Thetha nje yaqalisa. Afune zokuthenga. Enza umnyoko enkonzweni. Because ufuna ntoni? Shortcut. Ingathi noyesu ngokabheke ngamlezela ayindlela nje evayedolo. Hayi nokunzima ke ngoba nobinqamleza phakathi. Because you cannot avoid into yokuba uhambe kwi-transportation topics. Into oyibonayo inqanawe as it is shipping through. Uyayibona ilayishile boots. But the captain who is piloting the ship, no matter what the torpedoes beneath it, no big ngaphansi, but the captain is sailing through to the desired destination to dock. Ithi noba yenzakele yakuvuzisa ioyili, umbona into yokuba uyisenxeleni into yokuba ikwazi ukuma, okokuba ikwazi ukuthula imithwalo. That's the kind of leadership. Nokuba usuka ubomi esiphila kubo namhlanje. But like that captain, sail through. As long as your vision is like that of an eagle, you understand and you set the high standards and you know what is the destination of your land. Okokuba ungenzakali xa sokuhlala. Avoid shortcuts. Nalapha emsebenzini kube njalo as leaders, so that zithi noma ngemini iyangqina into yokokuba ungayi-deputy director general ubone into yoba there's a paper trail you file. Singatakata kokwamasele siphosi unqaba umzila sike sizama ukuhlala njengesineyili athi noba umntu ihamba kancinci athi kodwa udlulile kule ndawo bona ntoni umrhwela kwabantu abahambe bezothusa ufike nje ukumbona ngezenzo ke intololo uqhubo kwe-popcorn yatsibathi ehlele epanini akanasijabhilithi because wabephukuza xa kuthe phatha akukho mntu okhula njenge-manager any authority to take a decision and the manager is indecisive. It's better to be queried about decisions that we have taken than an indecisive manager that is sitting in the seat of authority and doing absolutely nothing. Akumntana manje ukubonyuse kuhleli. Awazi ukuthi ixesha lifikile because it is about you. You don't know what has to do. Outhead as a leader, understand your environment. Build, coach, educate, and produce results. That is why I believe we're supposed to do. Cut it short, wealth without work is a sin. Wealth without work is a sin. How man want a budget? Yes, directorate have come and well. We plan anywhere. We are hungry, we said. So it's a challenge. And we are sinful. And pleasure without conscience is also a problem. And knowledge without courage, as I said initially. Commerce without morality. We are people. Science without humanity. They don't science. But by and that is a problem. Worship without sacrifice. Sing about savings. Sing about sacrifice. We are having a challenge. And politics without principle. For my politician, God says I principles are permanent pillars of an upright politician. It's normally born in family. They want to ithemba lakhayo isibeka kwiJerusalem nezinhlalo zemboni lesingazange sayazi ukuthi sasibona because this person is able to build streets of gold in the minds of men. Balungele lethemba abantu. Then with those dreamers, take hands and turn dark into full colors. This is a perennial industry. The political theater of the Euro Church of these salaries are not enough for everything. But to pay a good permanent wage and also take anymore. What is also people take anymore to call my job and I cannot afford a house. What you go to stay by there, primary. I was to battle the business. Imali Pella between Ukwakela no school started. How you you are despondent, you are numb, you don't feel you are adding value in the society that we are in. That is the calamity that is facing your leadership. But I normally say, no matter social development, there is a perennial industry that you need to invest your money into. Until you get banking. Who is born, say that is a family. That you yourself you can stand and say, and those who take a car, and those who take a spinach, and those who take a swear, and those who take a masama. I want to invest my 250 rands to go to the nearest nursery to buy those things and harvest from the sweat of my hands. By so doing, we'll be building our own local industries, I tell you. And visited young people, they were saying, I'm a business scientist. But I decided not to stay there. I have a farm of my father that I inherited. With my BSc, I'm able to produce a red meat that you, African blacks, you must use your credit card to come and buy from me. That's what they say. What is that 2%? That's one thing. After that, we are going to feed this nation. We are 8% and we are close to 70%. That is the situation my public is sitting here. As opposed to Njani 8% yonke abantu more than 51 million abamnyama. They say only because your hands cannot touch soil particles. We are delayed from reality. We are building a false economy of consumption and fail to give and deliver what we think is productive sector of the economy. That's why we are fed by food that can kill our children today. Nobody knows what is happening. Till now, we're doing good, but the production levels we when it comes to balance of trade, it is so low. Zonke inqanawa sisukutya kuthi yonke into esenzayo thina we consume and zonke sihambayo simkazi ngagcwelanga kodwa esifikayo simkazi sifika kugcwele sihleli apha. That's why isalary zethu are going to be perpetually defeated by the market. Siyabe siyowela nge-350 ngenza ithatha i-350 nama-ke nge-350 jonge into yoba sawumandayo hayi ozakuthi hayi isazawunyanga phaa social media. Makabane ndithetha from an informed position. Xa siya kuphela amandla sizoyema ngodonga size nazo zonke ii-options. Honestly speaking, 350 is nothing. But 350 is something because we have to go to bed with something to eat. But if sizokwenza ntoni xa isonka close to 20 rand, one loaf of bread, and we don't think of any productive jobs, this is where we're supposed to chisel and make society to understand that kuzofuneka isibindi kurhulumente okhona to work with these young people so that they don't boil in the system. Once abantwana abatsha elizweni badlokove, they can take the union building by their own hands. Uphele ushikashika namaqhinga beme ngaphambili, but ngoku ixesha lifikile for us to take over. So isizawuhamba ziphele izangotshe zokucakisa umcimbi. Kuzofuneka abantu xa benika i-youth program bayolwela i-budget njengoba bekuvuka ukuba you need money to start enterprises, to start something much more better. Social development facilitator abantu kwi-communities to say if there are 50 gardens, they can produce this and you create your own local market. But who are the food processors here? Who is feeding our hospitals? How much is the cost of doing this business? What kinds of loans and soft loans we can give them so that they can go and have power to follow themselves? We are not asking those things. Sibanye senze namathini sokuba batrain baye phambili abantwana babantu kwelizwe. Yiyo le nto xa banika imali kunintsi lwabo baye bathi hayi thina sawufuna i-transport ezosistema sinye. Kuthathwa kule 5,000 imali nibanikayo ngenda partnership nale department. In the project as a chairman, as an I 250,000 covered banking, which is good because they must be bankable. But also, I'm saying, I know, when I scale must mean I already have battery. Was the plan and then as I will take a massive. This is the problem that we have created. And I think if we can manage to change these things. Can you get them on a bit of forestry, small community forest? I've seen that is working. This province is a forest province. There are only 4 or 3 in this country. And when I visited so many of them, and they were able to say, and I'm trying to say millions because of the laws that are taking so many years. But in the social development component, partnering with the Department of Agriculture and Forestry, what is it that we can derive? So that's very small sawmillers. About an maybe poverty. Bakwazi ukuthengisa abaproduce nemithi, but who is producing the nurseries or eucalyptus today? Imithi le Gambiya lebe sikhamagqabi ayo ngexesha le-COVID. These are the things that we can do. Breeding livestock. Ulalali sifuyo. Ayifuni tata ndifuna nomama. Ndibuya kutata abathengisa amathoka segusha. Banithengisele phaa ko-1.3 uhambe ufuna inkunzi zohlobo, and I'm imagining if show you take about 73,000, if you can do that in a massive scale, who was under that with industry contribution by our own sons and daughters in the areas where they stay, how much can we change the dynamics of our society? But we are not there. We are waiting for these things. Otherwise, thank you very much for this opportunity, Program Director. They must attend to harmful attitudes. Xa ndithi ootata ke ndimsha noomama, apho noomama banee-harmful attitudes ehleli nje kule ngumama, vicious and aggression. Ootata ba-vicious xa ibona umntu ongumama, bona umntu anomhatheka, amhlubise idima, athi ngokusele hamba amfowunele uphi, kutheni uthatha ixesha elingaka kwasibaba, kutheni unxibele lo, utheni na kwesijongo besiye kuso ingathi uyawuthumela kweli cala laseleyo. kodwa mina bendihleli kweli cala laseBhadane ndithetha inyani ndikuKrestu. Andisebenzisa harmful attitudes. Abantu bathi behamba kunye bambi bengasathethisani nasemgidini because kukho le diagnosis ihlela ingxamile yaphezulu ayinankosikazi kodwa iverse Spain kwiLatin ine-theme lo muntu akasayi-human being uyi-ornament that must be moved from this place to this place. Those are harmful, sheer lack of love and compassion. Akusekho kwathando ezindlini esihlala kuzo. Uninzi labantu ngokuna bafika beziphathele ii-iPad zabo bayokuvezela imisebenzi yeprojekti ezigruphini zabo, abantwana banee-cellphones zabo, akukho kuthethayo endlini. Xa kufike egruphini lo ukuWhatsApp, lo ukuTelegram, lo ukuInstagram, bonke badibana mhlawumbi kwii-circles ze-social network nabantwana kubuzwa kubo into okokuba lityile na via WhatsApp. Nobody is talking to anyone. The houses are as old as storage fridge, and nobody is asking noba mntana uhlutshwe yintoni izolo. Uyabona umntana seyikwi-drugs, umzimba ibhluku ezilele ecaleni kwebhum, iinzipho zimnyama kwiipush, izithende zingemva, ngokoqila amehlo akafuna ukutya, uyibona loo nto sekonakele because our homes have tend to be the difference of what we used to know. Umntana ungena ndawo ungena ekamereni atshitshe uthi zole utata nomama nabo baxakekile udini utata ngabuleya ilaptop uhleliwe unatyiwe ebhedini akukho nento cross pollination enokwenzeka because uyinyula kwakhe esystem ucina isibane kweli cala ngakulo uyalala. Okwesibini akukho kushushu ebhedini osikazi kusewinter masiyothenga i-electric blanket because nothing else will never electrify our presence. This is the situation. Abakhona abantu abamamujaba abanganayo i-electric blanket abangaphaa ningasayitheni yogqiba loo bhedi ine-electric blanket ihlobisa negazi umzimba iwutshintshe kuphela umdla because wawulala uba lumndindindi wentloko uba kaloku umane uyiswitsha to 1, 2 and 3 instead of switching the only companion next to you. That is the challenge. So the whole class technical leadership, any heavy home, naliphi ikhaya lonwabileyo ulibona nge-production yabantwana. Athe umama ekuseni nomyeni wakhe ubabona uba bonwabile xa bengena ezofisini zabo, there is no way that they cannot deliver happiness at work because zonke i-conjugal rights zi-exercise ndithetha le nto kuba ndizawubana and ndiyalikhuthaza ngoba ndijongele age ngokujalo aba bantu banamava loyibajongeyo anamava. But there must be decisions that we take as family members. Nokokuba ukatshati, nokokuba usezawutshata, nokokuba usekule area yokokuba usajonga. Create love. Makubekho indlela yokokuba sifundisa abafana indlela yokuthwala. Xa siyosenga inkomo sineqala esivela kuyo. Xa uyosenga inkomo amanzi enziwa shushu awuwabamba amabele enkomo kusafika ngangwathoba. That is a science of milking a calf. Ithi bafana uba inqanqane ithola uba uqala wawathina amabele wawafaka amanzi atheni uyibona umazi lenkomo isehlisa nawe xa usenga ethungeni uyabona uba iva kamandi imnikisa. Ozothi qala igwala ithungu ucingele ntoni ithoba into bafazi bamncanywa apha nalithoba masingezifana zizilwanyana. Umntu urafu akana sense of touch and feeling, akana sense of love and compassion.
Abantu angry with bedrooms, a upper house or upper room of the house. All of them there is nowhere about for a pacified truth. Umdulala jogging up. Omnia jogging up. Ubawa kau aku jelas chen. Omnia bere. This is a properly joined. Yaman saying my companies, my leadership. One success. Yang nama ilote. Ubawa aku. Dengarti. Ada apa sebab apa bukan? Aku menceritakan. Jangan lupa bersedia ini sama. Hai, belum sudah lah kaman forma sekolah ini. Let's cultivate as leaders how to lead in our families, and if we create happiness and joy, there will be happiness and joy in the workplace. About parts of our creditors, we see the in name calling, character assassination, public embarrassment, belittling of appearance, patronizing, Abu say university, I'm starting to improve. Each of them telling money. Now, when that woman, ungas no ba i-anapen size na. Kapag nacho mga mabes naman, ako ayas do ba mali invest. And concept the law is because it's about to measure to an extent of possible harm and pain to others. It hasn't happened. The bar will come out to try to get one. There's a last bar of a family. Now, can report, very important when the job of is a super society, single cheap from about age. It's about Lele, about much, about the game, but thank you very much and enjoy.
Let us have colleagues who are approaching the closing now. Let us approve. Tell them to look like a partner. Put you only look better when you smile. Alright, so I'm going to approve colleagues. Bambi. Indeed, namhlanje sokwakhiwa kakhulu siyabulela ukuthi inqobo umalika uNtungwa siyabulela kakhulu deputy speaker wethu walapha kweliphondo laseMpuma Kapa we are so honored colleagues ngoba sibe nabantu abakhalipha kuyo namhlanje make siphinde sizabekezana lo noma kunjalo siyabulela next time, on the point, Sibella, it's been 3 days. Sila, please take a proposal. Come on, we'll take this speaker also. Man, see, he is social development. Billions. My sister is a Ora the political special in Zuzu is clear that we take this in yesine lezabezeke ngokusina phakamisa isolo sesolo emveni kwesolo siphakamisa phaka item number 7 which is our last item vote of thanks to Miss N Charlie, Assistant Director Employee Health and Wellness. It is a good way for it is a attendance register. Apha endleleni sayikhona nasenhlalo police.
So I just basically want to thank everyone that has attended today. So whenever I travel, I just want to share this, the importance basically of thank you. Again, I'm a visitor in Gardens one time, and started out basically house etc. So the person that was taking us through this whole thing, the next day, I think I'll because so that next time, and so that's my job now. It's so hectic. So basically, as I said before, when I was talking about purpose, plan, and progress. Motto, that's what I do. And so I'd like to thank everybody who's organized, because the purpose of this event was to build today's youth to be tomorrow's leaders. And basically, I think what charity begins at home, so we kind of had to start with the employees of the department so that it was extended beyond and go outside. And basically, I'd just like to thank, first of all, the management for allowing us to basically have this event, because this has been and they not granted us the authority to. And so, in terms of the officers, so I'd just like to extend that and thank you. And then I'd like to thank the back end of this entire event, and basically the energy of the event, wellness, the organizers basically for resourcing the event very well, and coordinating it and making sure that it is what we are actually experiencing. Because if we are kind of by coordinating, by coordinating, that's not so the see where the right now, and for obviously organizing all our speakers today and including everything that is being here. So thank you so much for wellness, for organizing such an incredible event. And then I'd like to thank all of you as employees of the department for attending, because since you know because it means that you are unable to deliver whatever it is that you want to do over and they are just not present. But you were very well coordinated audience, and you were very engaging. It was very nice, and you were extremely receptive as well. So I'd like to thank you as well for attending, because keep spending our time in the event would not have been what it is right now. So thank you so much. And then I would also like to thank the young adults in the department, because one of our who are you, but who are young adults? So they need their hands held. And so sometimes it's very nice to see the LGBTs, the young adults, so that they can hold the hands of young people whilst they navigate throughout their youth. And so thank you as well for being here. Your presence is also seen. And basically, I'd also like to thank our distinguished guests that were here. The cinema that we had gotten from the inception of the program right through to the end, and basically our speakers actually showed us that you cannot leave other people if we cannot leave ourselves, in summary, basically. And so it's up to us basically to do what we can with ourselves to navigate. And so we thank you so much for those pearls of wisdom, because I think that in its own has actually made sure that it's anchored the purpose of why we're here today. We've equipped us so that we can walk out there and be able to basically lead. And then also I'd like to thank the sponsors of the event, your Uberts, your Mutuals, or the Metropolitan. The event would not have been as it was. Because it's bad, they're not going to make out much of the team there. So they're looking alive. It's very nice. So I'd like to thank them as well for everything that they have done and contributed towards the event. We'd also like to thank the food, because I don't know, I think Kubanami was talking, so you know we are stricken with email nutrition. So it's always nice to get to an event to eat. Otherwise, even if we have this kind of situation as buying and all the things because they won't have buying event. So event is made out of food, and so we thank you for making sure that we are well fed and we are not event for the whole day. So thank you so much for that. And then also just in particular, whoever I did not thank, I am so sorry, and I am thanking you on behalf of everything. Oh, no, I'm still coming. And so basically, another thing that I just wanted to add was that I'd like to emphasize and thank Umdunga for emphasizing the point that we just need to basically change our mindset as well, and we actually need to utilize what we have, our backyards, etc. And I think the purpose of the event and the kind of lineup speakers that you had was to actually necessitate that, so that it can open you to opportunities. But also, one other thing that I don't think we take into consideration is the fact that you've got a request for work outside public service policy that enables government officials to be able to work outside government to declare what it is that they do. So basically, what he has said, what I'm taking is that it doesn't mean it was just government. You must use that policy. And this is the nice thing about being educated, being young, that you can read, you can write, you can challenge and use your mouths, and you can speak for yourself, because that's what you need to do. Because as I had said initially, you've got a purpose, and it will be better if you don't use a purpose, because with that was never. Ecclesiastes, I think that you must invest in 7 ventures, yes, 8, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And so you must make use of those policies, those things when you walk out of here. I mean, you realize when it was mentioned, pay them 300, 400 rand, literally. So that means that in your communities, you might not be able to give people money, but you can give them access to an environment, to a channel that can actually make you money, because you can do good, but you can make money at the same time, because you don't want that scenario where imali salary kuphela bese kubeka nazo ngathi khona akayisebenzi ngenxa yayingathi ubambe lo mali lebekwa kuhulumeni. And so those essence, when you walk out, when you go home, you need to be able to think of those things and be able to make use of them. And start opening your mouths and actually fighting for yourself, because nobody's going to fight for you. And the policies are there, they're created so that you can make use of them. And lastly, I'd basically like to thank our MC who's coordinated literally the entire event. Mr. Mandela, from Chris Districts, the presenter of Uganda FM, as also we all know, must have a program. Without a program director that's attached that is able to coordinate the entire event, from when we eat, when we stop, when we dance, it doesn't become a program. And so we'd like to thank you so much for a job well done. And also, just overall, the kind of music that you play, like planned by that now it's like. So I think this event basically has enabled that. It's created a platform, it's given you channels, opportunities, and tools that you can be able to make a plan. So in those words, I thank you so much, and I think that we have been granted tools to build a caring society. So it's about finding in society, so thank you so much for everyone. And I think you must just travel safely and get home safely so that you can be able to do the good work. Thank you.
somandla samathamsanqa. Siyacela ke ngoku Nkosi yamaZulu uzothi xa insana zakho zigoduka soba usonamathamsanqa. Waneka amaphiko akho bawo uzifihla intsapho zakho phantsi kwalo maphiko. Ukuze indlela zabo ezigodukayo ibe zindlela ezingcwele. Afike emakhaya Nkosi yamaZulu bephephile. Siyakucela bawo sikuthandaza ngegama lalowo wasifelayo esiKristu Nkosi yethu. Amen.
Molweni babukele emakhaya, igama lam ndingubulelani BHOKELA from ZUKHALI Media Production Company. Silapha nto zakuthi ke kwidolophu yaseMonti kwiphondo lempuma koloni. Apha eceleni kwam ke ndihleli ke no Deputy Speaker utata uMlibo Qoboshiana from Provincial Legislature. Ulapha kulo mcimbi waka social development. Masiqase umbuzo impilo qala. Tata njani ngale mina namhlanje?
Hayi siphilile man, sibulela nje ufumana lamathuba xa ilanga lijika, kodwa kuthi xa wasigcina wasiphakamisa silapha namhlanje.
Khandibalisele uzive njani ukumsitho omhle kangaka? Ndivile phaya uthethile wemadoda, hayi uphosi wena mntu angangube khona.
Eyona nto isichulumancisayo kakhulu into kokuba sazi into kokuba noxa uqeshiwe, kodwa into kokuba kubakho ixesha loba abantu bakhe bahlale phantsi baphendle izazela, bakwazi ukubonisana, bakwazi ukujonga iziva kumsebenzi abawenzayo, bakwazi ukukhuthazana kuba umsebenzi abawenzayo wakwa-social development ubadibanisa namakhaya abantu asebunzimeni aselusizini njalo njalo. Inokuhle kuthi kanti loo nto inomthelela nakwezabo impilo, kodwa xa befumana uhlaziyeko olufana nolu ithetha ukuthi fanele uba sigalele ke ngoku naphezu kwalo bhekile. Yiyo le nto namhlanje umxholo wam ibokuba sakhe i-leader as an individual, kuba sikwi-society efuna ukhupha i-leaders esiqwini sizise kwiipalamente njalo njalo. Sashiya abantu ingamagobhoza athi nobenzakele kungekho mntu wokuba abelaphe, kodwa ndithatha ngoba intlanganiso yanamhlanje ifundisa isazela sokuphila, ifundisa intembeko, ifundisa intobeko, ifundisa ukusebenza kanzima, kodwa ekugqibeleni sizixabise kwizinto esithe sazifumana ezilixabiso lize nabanye abantu abawafumananga amathuba okuba bakwazi ukuqeshwa babe zizigcina. Abanye zii-interns bakhona bebefuna khange balifumane lo thuba bade bagqitha kwi-age yoba bangaqesheka.
Umyalezo enzokubuza wona wokugqibela ufuna uthini kwilizwe lonke loMzantsi Afrika ngakumbi ulutsha?
Eyona nto ndicinga uba urhulumente makayenze into yoba masikhwelete ngabantu abatsha. Bendisithi apha ulutsha lulutsha lanamhlanje, lulutsha langomso, lulutsha le-future. Ububona umntu omtsha namhlanje ubona i-face of next coming 60 years. Ezi candidates namhlanje ziphangelela urhulumente zibonakala zintsha bekhe zancinci ngaphambili, kodwa uba siya-investa ebantwini abatsha, we are preparing a very serious premium to harvest tomorrow. But uba ukwazanga kusigcina isithole kakuhle, there is nothing that will germinate for a buried kind of a seed if it's not nurtured, it's not irrigated, it's not getting properly monitoring and growth. So ukyala ke lo mbewu ebantwini nasekubanikeni ithemba into kokuba into abayithunyiweyo mabayazi into kokuba babe nentshisakalo nokukhathala nokufuna ukuphakamisa ngaphezulu kuloba besenza, kodwa nabantu abaphetheyo mabakwazi ukujonga abantu abaphethweyo ukwenzela into kokuba eli lizwe lingabi yontlahlela yokunyathelwa ngabantu njengembewu engachumiyo.
Alright, ke sibona sibini phaya ku Deputy Speaker from Legislature Nkosi. Ihleli ke noSisi Babalwa umkhwetsha ulapha ecaleni kwami. Sisi njani ngale mina namhlanje?
Yaphila khona kunjani? Babalwa nkwentsha.
Oh, sorry. All right. Sisi kanibalisela uzive njani nawe oyinxalenye yomsitho bemhle kangaka wenziwa u-social development?
Well, I'm very proud that the social development will actually do such an event, because we've got a lot of broken people. We work in a broken society, and you find that we kind of have to work and help society, but we don't look inward. So the kind of event that we had today was very much looking inward in terms of making sure that we equip and we heal the people who are supposed to go and equip others in our communities. But if we are filled with this stuff that is not well, that is not healed, that is broken, then they perpetuate that and break societies. But when you give them tools and you enable them to basically operate from a place of a holistic being and being happy and being well, then you enable that to actually go out in the communities as well.
Uvile pha uthethe ngomcimbi obalulekileyo wento edibene ne-social media ubana abantu especially abantu abatsha mabangazideleli mabaqhubeke. Ufuna uthini kulutsha loMzantsi Afrika elisibukeleyo ngeli xesha?
Well, I do want to say that young people need to take advantage of what is around them. I mean, we live in an era of the fourth industrial revolution, the digital era, etc. So that means that the new means of generating economic activity is the digital space as well. So we can't just be on social media consuming. So we kind of have to get into the production space and create, because creating is what creates value. Just like you would produce plants from seeds. The same in terms of content creation, in terms of making use of digital spaces. There's the rise in that space, and it's about time that young people actually engage in it, utilize basic platforms like agriculture, stuff like that, through education, through whatever, to make sure that they are creating for a purpose and for a cause. So yeah.
Alright, isibalo sibini ndoza ukuthi phaya kusibabalo inkosi kakhulu. Ndihleli ke nomama nompumelelo Javu, Director Employee Relation and Wellness. Mama nompumelelo njani ngale mina namhlanje?
Siphilile bhuti wami Nkosi, ndiyabulela ubukho benu apha namhlanje.
Yes. Khawundi ndibalisele mama lo mcimbi ubemhle kangaka. Nicinge njani bani bekube kumcimbi omhle kangaka we-youth kube khona abantu abafana ke notata uMlibo Qhoboshana abathethe izinto eziphilileyo?
Basically, what we are doing as a department, as a unit, we are focusing in all categories of employees of the department. But this time around, we felt that let us focus on the youth, which is the backbone of our department, so that we can empower them, we can give them skills, we can talk directly to them on issues that affects them. Normally siyazenza programs ezikumila kunje, but ngoku sithema ke sitshintshe ikhasi. Now that isuphetha lo nyaka mali sikhe sithethe ne youth yethu kuba ezi le youth yethu are leaders of tomorrow. So we want to affirm them, and for them to affirm themselves that really the department do care about them, and we want to invest in our youth, because tomorrow we won't be here, but the youth will be there.
Alright, ke sibalo sibini ndoza ukuthi phaya kumama ithetha kamandi inkosi kakhulu. Ndihleli ke no bhuti ubade ngosikhonat Siwana, uMr Siwana ndoza ukuthi lapha ecaleni kwami. Mhlekazi, khawundibalisele lento yale program wena unguMr Siwana intoni othi ndibambile ndifundile?
Oh okay, okokuqala mandibulise kuwe Mhlekazi wami, and ndibulise to the viewers. Namhlanje sibe nosuku oluhle kakhulu, and the speakers that we had namhlanje noko zisixhobisile, more especially kwizinto ezitya ulutsha, because ngoku the only people that abakhulayo ngabo aba more affected, more especially kwizinto ezifana noma HIV, more especially kwimisebenzi ne-management that abasebenza phansi kwana. You'd find that some of those people abekho happy ngenxa yengxaki ezenzeka emsebenzini, and you'd find that those things bayazithatha bazise kwi-communities. So we highly appreciate ke ngoku amazwi esiwaqhutyiswe nguMr Mabuyane, because ndithe ndonothisa kwi-statement sakhe okanye kwi-presentation yakhe uthe akukho nto ibaluleke ingathi sithathe i-skill that esisifumana apha kwa-social development okanye the policies esiyi-apply apha kwi-social development siyi-apply even outside emsebenzini, which is to go and say now that mna ndinesi strategy naso and go ndihambe ndo-equip abantu from the communities, yabo, ndikwazi ukuthini phana ndi-initiate i-programs that will assist abantu abatsha, like awareness campaigns, like undincedisane ne-organizations that eziphetheyo kulo particular community. Yes.
Alright, isibonisa sibindi ke ndoza ukuthi phaya kuMr Siwana ithetha kamandi inkosi kakhulu. Ndihleli ke noMr Mbuwana naye ke uphaya kwa Employment and Wellness. Nawe sicela usibalisele zintoni izinto oye wasifunda kulo mcimbi bemhle kangaka ngale mini namhlanje?
Msasazi, ndingathi ndonwabile kokuqala. Inkulu into esiyifumene silolutsha le department. Number 1, sikhuthaziwe. Nabo kudala bekhona apha edepartmentini ngenxa yezinto ngezinto abadibana nazo bafumana bephela amandla. Kodwa isession yanamhlanje hayi imimoya inyukile. Nathi thina sifika apha edepartmentini sibonile ukuba xa kuthethwa ngo-social development kusukuba kuthethwa ngantoni. More especially u-employee health and wellness apho i-unit ekhathalela abasebenzi bayo isibonisile namhlanje uba inene i-department iyakhathala, because amaxesha amaninzi kuba ngathi urhulumente okanye i-department azikhathali, kodwa isibonakalisile namhlanje le office ka-employee health and wellness. Sifundile nokoba singabantu abatsha zininzi izinto esinozenza ngaphandle kokujonga uqeshwa nazo nezinye izinto. Kukho ukuba singaba ngoosomashishini ngokwethu, and ezi zinto ezi ayizonto zokwenziwa kumaphondo nee-cities ezinkulu, singazenza ekuhlaleni apho sizalwa khona ezilalini, sabonakalisa uba zikhona izinto ezingamphuhlisa umuntu omtsha. Loo nto ke msasaza ndingatsho ngongenamathandabuzo uba inene siphuma sigcwele and sivuselelekile.
Alright ke sibona sawusibini into zakuthi ke phaya kuMsembowana icacise kamandi nivile ke into zakuthi kubana initsi into abaye bayifunda ngale mini namhlanje. Enkosi kakhulu. Babukele emakhaya siselapha ke sisagqibesela ke into i-shooting yethu apha ecaleni kwami ke nhlelo nosisi ke bathi nguAgcobile eBhotha. Nambona into zakuthi uthe gunqu ngabasistons phaya umhlobo weNFM. Samdubula ngemibuzo yena ndidubule ngempendulo simqala ngempilo. Hello sisi, unjani namhlanje?
Ndiyaphila Nkosi, unjani?
Ndiyaphila nathi akhondo. Nawe sisi zintoni izinto ezibambileyo kule program ibinhle kangaka yanamhlanje?
Kwi-program yanamhlanje ndiphume neentetho ezithu ebezisenziwa ngumfundisi wethu noMiss Nkwentsha esithi umfundisi ubana rise above all negativity, ungazithobi uye bubini babantu abasezantsi. Enze umzekelo ngempuku eyoba suyikhangela ezantsi impuku kodwa rise above wena izobulawa izi-natural causes. Aphinde athi noMiss Nkwentsha ubana you must structure your life enzele uba uzibone uba uyaphi, uzibone what you have achieved ebomini bakho, so that ungabi ngumuntu owehlayo phinde enyuke. Once you write it down uyibone, you have something to work towards all the time.
Furuthini kubantu abangangawe abapha emakhaya ulutsha nabo ubapha amazwi amandi.
It's tough, I know, because I've been there. So umuntu makangancami, keep on applying. In fact, we even had a presentation namhlanje of encouragement ngoba abantu mabalime and use the resources that are around you. Uqale kancinci, izokhula ibhizinesi yakho, uyatyala apha endlini, you don't have to buy certain things nesonka ungazenzela and sell kwabanye abantu. So yeah, umuntu angajongi kwindawo eyi-one but sijonge kwindawo ezininzi.
Alright ke sibona sawusibini into zakuthi phaya kusisa Agcobile eBhotha ethetha kamandi. Into zakuthi ke uZUKHALI Media belapha ngale mina namhlanje. Xa mfuna inamba zakhe sikhona pha ku screen ethi 074 815 4877 kumakhasi onxibelelwano ZUKHALI Media phaya ku YouTube silandele khona. Wemadoda ngeke usole ngoZUKHALI. uZUKHALI akodolopha angahambi kamba 4 months ago sasingapha ke eMgungundlovu. Apho ke intombi zakho zicamina phela ngazi ukuthi ngikhathele kanjani. Wemadoda nguZUKHALI lo uyaza ubukele khona ngexesha ndikuthanda into ngena size. Enkosi.